Hi, my name is Julia Catanese, and I'm a U.S. Army major and a student at the Uniformed Services University pursuing my PhD in nursing. My background is primarily in surgery, where I specialized nearly 10 years ago. Acknowledging my prior experience at various surgical care environments, my research interest is in skill decay for surgical team members. Today I am briefing my findings for skill decay in the surgical environment, challenges, mitigation, and future for modeling and simulation. All opinions and assertions in this brief are my own and do not reflect the official policy or position of USU or the DoD. I have no relevant financial relationships to disclose relating to the content of this presentation. Today I'm going to discuss the concept of skill decay, describe the challenges for surgical teams that are unique to the military setting, discuss factors influencing skill decay, discuss how skill decay relates to modeling and simulation and its importance, the current use of technology to mitigate skill decay with a few exemplars, and potential future directions of advanced simulation and technology to mitigate skill decay. The surgical environment is a diverse and complex setting that requires our team members to stay abreast of evolving technologies and procedures or risk skill loss, a concept identified as skill decay. The Sentinel article written by Arthur and Bennett in 1998 defined skill decay as the loss of acquired skills or knowledge after periods of non-use. The literature review sometimes refer to this concept by other names, including skill degradation, skill atrophy, skill fade, descaling, and skill loss. However, skill decay was the most prominent usage of this concept and named by the Sentinel article. So why does this matter for surgical team members of anesthesia providers, surgeons, perioperative nurses, and surgical technologists? Well, this is because the OR has inherent challenges for team members to retain a wide variety of required surgical skills. This is because there's an unpredictable nature of surgery. We can't predict when a trauma will occur. That's the nature of trauma. Furthermore, the surgeons that we work with have individual preferences, and although different surgeons conduct the same type of procedure, they may assert different procedural and instrument and equipment preferences, which adds to the complexity and skill of the nurse and tech to assist them directly in the sterile environment. Specific to the military, and as depicted on this slide, our military members also have concurrent collateral duties that take personnel away from the bedside. Furthermore, our surgical volumes and case type vary by facility, since each facility is different based off their level and capabilities. Lastly, specific to military deployments, the recent literature reports that Role 2 and Role 3 teams have experienced low surgical volumes. So as the volume of injured patients decreases in theater, all surgical team members lose skills and fail to obtain new ones. These challenges impact care delivery and military readiness. There are several factors influencing skill decay. The first and most prominent is recent practice. The longer the time between practice results in greater skill loss. The literature review revealed that there is a negative relationship between skill retention and time of non-practice. Skill loss appeared as soon as 1 day after training. After 1 year, after non-use, participants performed at less than 92% of their performance levels prior to the non-practice interval. The next influence is overlearning is a protective factor against skill decay. The literature revealed that the additional training beyond initial proficiency, such as using deliberate practice, increases long-term retention. It is proposed that it increases confidence of the trainee in their performance and therefore decreases stress, which often hampers performance. Next, task complexity influences skill decay. Open-looped, which are complex tasks such as problem solving, have higher propensity for decay than closed-loop tasks such as checklists. Furthermore, physical versus cognitive tasks. Physical tasks tended to decay slower than cognitive ones. Next, the natural versus artificial tasks were also influenced. Decay for natural tasks was slightly less than artificial. Natural tasks replicate real-life scenarios and display more complexity, while artificial tasks attempt to isolate specific skills only. And speed versus accuracy. The accuracy task skill decay was 3 times higher than speed tasks. And the last influence of skill decay were the conditions of retrieval. The level of similarity between original learning and testing environment reduced skill decay. So how do we apply the literature to ensure our surgical staff mitigate skill decay? The literature underscores the protective factors against skill decay, namely recent practice and the importance of overlearning, such as deliberate practice and retaining skills. It also gives us considerations in shaping our training and education, including focusing on training complex tasks and cognitive tasks more frequently, training for accuracy, not speed, and training in environments that we desire the skills to be used, such as training in the OR in situ. So the role of surgical simulation technology in modeling and simulation. It provides a safe and controlled environment to acquire and practice skills to mitigate skill decay. It also enables learning through repetition and allows immediate assessment and feedback. Now I'll transition to discussing the current use of modeling and simulation in surgical training. Modeling and simulation is currently being used in the surgical training community in a variety of ways, and it continues to expand as technology improves. Simulators have improved from traditional mannequin training to virtual reality, augmented reality, robotic trainers, to serious gaming. Surgical team members may find different platforms suit their learning needs best to practice their required skill sets. The first type, virtual reality, is a 3D computer-generated simulated environment aimed to recreate the real world to support learning. This comes in a variety of platforms, from head-mounted displays, such as goggles and handpieces, to screen-based, which includes computer desktops or tablets. There are various companies supporting surgeon, anesthesia, nurse, and tech training via virtual reality. For example, VR is used in conjunction with a multimodal workshop that helped the trainees perform a total knee arthroplasty as depicted by the pictures on the far right. Next, there's a VR surgical fire trainer called Virtual Electrosurgery Skill Trainer, the VEST, on the top left. Lastly, the Surgical Instrument and Procedure Trainer by Periop Sim Conquer Experience is depicted on the bottom left. However, there are limitations to the virtual reality. One downside is a starting cost for platforms. Some head-mounted displays are several $1,000s per headset. The desktop and tablet versions tend to be cheaper due to ubiquitousness of the hardware. However, there are still licensing fees to access the software. There's also coordination and logistics to obtain headsets and establish formal and run these virtual reality programs. Additionally, the desire for haptic feedback, the user feeling the hand sensation similar to real life, is still being developed, and sensitivity, if offered, varies by platform and device. Lastly, depending on the developers, there may be inconsistent training quality or limited realism, which requires validation by instructors and faculty prior to use. The next type is augmented reality. This is virtual objects placed into space to perform the training module. I'll play this video as I speak. This example here is Anatomy X by Metavis. However, this platform also has limitations that are similar to VR. This is a costly investment in both time and money to establish and run this formal AVR program. However, there are some examples that are available via tablet which are more affordable to the average user. Also similar to VR, there's inconsistent training quality that requires validation. Next is robotic trainers. This is skills practice in an immersive virtual environment via the same platform used for live surgery. This example is the Da Vinci Skills Simulator. As you can see with the photo examples on the right of the page, the images at the top are the virtual practice exercises in the Skills Simulator through the surgeon's console. The center and lower photos are of the simulator use combined with a laparoscopic trainer simulation box. The users 3D printed their own silicone organs and used the Da Vinci surgical simulator to practice real-life suturing and cutting techniques. The photo at the bottom is from the user's view inside the Da Vinci surgeon console. The limitations here is major user generalizability. The best use for this is for surgeons to practice their Da Vinci hand gestures and movements. It also has a costly startup if the facility does not already own the Da Vinci system, since the console is used in real-life surgery is also used in training. The last type is serious games. Serious games are interactive computer applications that incorporate a challenging goal, are fun to play and engaging, and incorporate a scoring mechanism. They also supply the user with skills, knowledge, or attitudes, and useful in reality. These are also known as mobile learning or screen-based learning. They come in a variety of platforms such as personal cell phones, desktop computers, tablets, and VR head-mounted displays. The examples here include the game called Play Surin, which is short for Playing with Surgical Instruments, a training game used to learn surgical instrumentation and how to set up a back table and a Mayo stand in the surgical environment. Another game called Underground, depicted on the bottom right, is specifically designed for surgeons in training. It uses custom-made laparoscopic controllers to train motor skills in the gaming world. They work to translate their 3D movements into the 2D screen, which is comparable to laparoscopic surgery. However, these task practice depends on the platforms. Some only train cognitive tasks like Play Surin, while others are a mix like the game Underworld. Also similar to VR and AVR, there may be inconsistent training quality that requires validation. The future of surgical simulation can incorporate AI and machine learning in a few ways to mitigate skill decay. AI may better simulate unique or complex clinical scenarios. It could also generate algorithms and models capable of novel prediction by using user historical data as examples. By focusing on improving user accuracy, more time is spent where the individual needs it most. This enables personalized and individualized training and streamlines training programs. Next, enhanced haptic sensors may better enhance surgical learning and skill maintenance for surgical residents and surgeons. Precision training and sensation feedback teaches the user to learn the tactile skills required for surgery and may prolong the retention interval. Lastly, modeling and simulation may leverage telemonitoring via augmented reality. Telemonitoring is when an experienced surgeon, a mentor, guides a less experienced surgeon during real-time procedure from a remote location and provides guidance and feedback in real time. This can also be used in training and skill maintenance when experienced mentors are geographically separated from the learner group. In conclusion, the concept of skill decay is a phenomenon of interest to the surgical community and to the military. The OR is a high-stakes environment of care that demands team competency and readiness at all times. While several factors influence skill decay, the military presents unique challenges that surgical teams navigate to maintain their surgical skills. Modeling and simulation plays a vital role in mitigating skill decay by providing realistic and relevant training to replicate real-world scenarios. These simulators provide a safe and controlled environment for staff to practice their skills. However, Currently, most simulators come with a high price tag. Future modeling and simulation can leverage advanced technologies such as AI, augmented reality, and remote telemonitoring to provide individualized and accessible learning options for surgical users. Continuous investment in these technologies will support the ongoing development and readiness of military surgical teams, ultimately leading to improved patient outcomes. Thank you for your time. The next few slides display my references.